Hello again, it's me, Tim, how to murder feet, yada yada yada, walking. So this is about 10:30 on Sunday the, hang on, let me drag down, Sunday the 30th of July. I am at Tilbury, no not Tilbury, the Tilbury ferry at Gravesend, which is closed again. I mean, I've been here twice and both times it's been closed, so I'm wondering if this ferry even exists anymore. There's some signs there. Okay, Pontoon access Sunday 4 PM only, right. Will be automatically closed for the night and following. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I don't need the ferry because I've got a new plan. So, yeah, I mean, basically, my big plan was obviously the southeast coast path. Obviously, it's the whole of England coast path, but the southeast coast path, I basically thought I'd go from Poole Harbour to here. And I did, and I succeeded. 400 miles, go me, 1,000 miles in total since Minehead. And I thought, right, that's me, I can put my feet up till September and then go and start over there, Tilbury, and head north up through Essex and Suffolk. But instead, what I'm going to do is the Thames Path. I thought, because of mental health issues, walking makes me happy, and also to try and keep in trim a bit and not end up with a repeat of the spring trip this year, where I was quite out of shape and paid for it, I think. I need to keep walking all through summer, I think, and so I'm going to be using the Sundays and a couple of extra holiday days as well to continue on. Where is it? There it is. Can we see? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's just go around. And there we go, Thames Path. So the plan is to follow that. Let's go. Follow this. Oh, that big boat. Follow this round to, well, let's say Westminster. Let's cross at Westminster, why not? And then come back up the other side of the Thames there. So which I reckon will take me 6 trips, including today, to get to Tilbury, and I've got that many Sundays and things until then. So yeah, going to do that. This is going to, well, I meant to do today by train as well, but I've left the car at a place called Erith. I was going to do this by train. It makes more sense to do all this central London stuff by train from where I live. Trains all day. That way I don't have to worry about the car and also congestion charging zones and parking problems and all sorts of other things. But I mean, here we're sort of right on the outskirts anyway, so why not? And also there was a train strike yesterday, and so the schedules are all still all over the place today. And today's quite a long one actually, 17 miles. I've left the car in a curbside parking space with a sign on a lamppost saying free parking, and it didn't say any times, and there's no yellow lines or anything. And it seemed like a reasonable district, like bungalows and things. Probably not going to be smashed up when I get there. But yeah, that's the plan anyway. So I'm going to keep myself in trim, both physically, spiritually and mentally, throughout the summer by walking to the centre of London and back. Because technically we're still in Kent here, Gravesend. Kent, we cross over into Greater London today, the River Derwent, and Erith itself is technically in Greater London, but originally my plan wasn't even to go anywhere inland from here. So yeah, why not? Let's get who's for some bonus stages. I certainly am. Now, I warn you now, some of this is going to be pretty boring trudging through industrial estates and container shipping yards and such like. I think we've probably left most of the beautiful countryside behind in Kent, but won't be seeing it again until Tilbury. But it's going to be interesting nonetheless. I mean, the Thames skyline around the Westminster Day is going to be amazing. And of course, there's going to be so many people there pointing cameras around. I'm not going to stand out, so that's okay. So yeah. So let's do some bonus stages. Yeah, and I'm going to make a start now because I've got quite a lot to do today. 17 miles shouldn't be too much of a problem, but I'm glad I managed to park somewhere that doesn't have gates that close. Okay, let's go. Starting well, although I think we're in for a lot of this kind of thing, which is basically a lot of zigzag in and out. Sort of 100 metre stretch of path, then back into the road, then back out again. Yeah, so I think that might be the Tilbury Dock passenger terminus. That's at the far side. That's where I start in September, probably. A long way to go in there. I did some research. Some of the rhetoricals I was asking myself about last time. And so this is tidal and saline pretty much all the way up to Teddington Locks, which is about 40 miles that way. Well, it's a Richmond, Twickenham sort of way, really. So, yeah. Although I suppose varying degrees of salinity. regardless, still wouldn't drink it, even at Teddington. Yeah, and so basically we're going upstream, so past quite a lot of restricted shorefront access. Yeah, but I don't know, I mean, so the last sign on a lamppost I saw back there said Thames Path and England Coast Path, and now I'm beginning to wonder if this isn't bonus stages at all, whether I always had to do this and was contemplating cheating, in fact. So yeah, anyway, there's lots more to do then. That's good. So yeah, 17 miles today will get me to Erith. I don't have any maps. If I didn't get the maps for this bonus stage, I'll have to get those in before the next one of these. I mean, I've got plenty of phone help, navigationally wise, but it's a fool's errand to go out here and do this without paper maps, just in case the phone dies or falls in the Thames or something. So yeah, on to Erith today, then Greenwich, then Westminster, then Barking, I think, on the back, and then I lost track of where the other side is. We'll deal with that when we get there, but then that one there. So yeah, making 6 in total, which I've just about got time to do before September. That's good. Yes, signage and access highly variable today, mostly because of all that. There's a lot of very new stuff going up here. I guess we'll see a lot of that riverside reclamation stuff. I'm going to have to go away and check my map. Possibly it goes through there one day. Well, I've occasionally been accused of not letting the view speak for itself, so here we go. It's a nice slow pan. Sunday industrial parks. That's the, or maybe just a little distribution centre. And yes, I am indeed on the path. Look, here's proof. And those, yeah, see, England Coast Path. So I'm wondering now, maybe perhaps I do have to do this. This is okay, because I'm going to. So yeah, I'm not expecting huge and impressive things today, although the Blue Water Shopping Centre is somewhere over there, so, but I don't have time to go and look at. And the Dartford crossing, so there's an enormous bridge and a tunnel as well, and I got caught in a horrific tailback on the M25 approaching that, because one of the tunnels is closed today, one of the 2 tunnels, so they're having to make everyone go through one tunnel. Lot of traffic. Almost didn't make my train connection, got quite stressed, but we're all good. Everything's going fine so far. Oh, look at that light, looks. Right, let's keep trudging. Find something nice to look at soon, I'm sure. So just before we shoot off into somewhere else, here we go, for context. Nothing interesting specifically about this particular lorry, but that container there, I'll just have me, is what we've seen on the backs of all those ships. Just me for context. That is about 2 metres tall, it's about, God knows, 10 metres long? Yeah, standardised size. I guess you probably look up the sizings of that on Wikipedia or something, but yeah, all those big boats going past with the tiny little coloured boxes on, that's, each of those is one of those. So there we go. Oh, a sign. Oh, the Andrex Tower, something I had previously never heard of or encountered or thought of before. Oh, this looks a bit scrubby. God, it's not going to send me down a fox-infested dead end again, is it? It's going to be quite a challenging day, I think. Quite a challenging week, this sudden impromptu bonus week I've given myself. Lots of sleeping lorries waiting for their turn on the docks. Loading bays. Right, down here then. Wish me luck. Seriously? Yeah, I'm much more at home in trackless wilderness, to be honest. That holds no terrors for me. But yeah, I'm going to get run over by a truck or killed by not wearing a hard hat or something. Alright, just like everyone to, for the record, look here. I am definitely allowed through here, despite no vehicles being allowed in without wearing hard hats. Bloody hell. Okay, do not deviate from the yellow arches. Crikey. I mean, I'm kind of glad I'm seeing an entirely different and distinct landscape here. The sort of landscape I'm not going to see again once I head Essex northward, I think. It's all going to be fens and wilderness. Beautiful scenery, that kind of thing. Yeah, this is going to be an education. My principal worry is that I don't get murdered between here and Tilbury. Yeah, inadvertently or on purpose. I think I'll probably be alright, but not my not my natural terrain, let's put it that way. My natural landscape. There's a kind of grim aesthetic to it all that can be considered striking or handsome in a certain light, but beautiful? Nah. All these post-apocalyptic video games I play, all I had to do was drive 2 hours. Here we go, bit of context. Press pause for more information. But the gist of it is that they want to turn that big old scrubby fenced off wasteland with a big harbour wall dam, barrier, whatever, into a working harbour again of some sort. Pleasure marina or some sort, I guess. Yeah, good luck. It's going to need a lot of money, I think. Alright, I'm just trying to find my way around. I think it's going to be much like this for much of the day, really. I mean, you think of the south bank of the Thames, and you tend to think of the Westminster bit, frankly, between Tower Bridge and the Houses of Parliament, which is all very pleasant and bohemian, and we'll see that in 2 to 3 days hike's time. But to get there, we've got to go through all this, which essentially is about 15 miles of wall-to-wall cement works, as far as I can tell. I don't think there's even any large container ports on this side. I think they're all on the north, as you can see in the background there. So I think it's just threading our way through and trying to work out where the access permission goes. Hence today is going to be quite a long day, which is why I'm glad I parked somewhere that doesn't have a gate. So yeah, keep moving, keep moving. Great for wildlife as it is, I imagine. Well, a certain sort of grubby urban wildlife anyway. Foxes mostly. Yeah, still trucking on. This is the Britannia Refined Metals Lorry Park, where shorts are expressly prohibited. Not me, no, I don't see. Full length. I comply. Yeah, it's sort of weaving in and out of all this spiky fenced industrial premises mostly at the moment. So there's that. Found an unlikely shell garage in the middle of all that though, so I managed to grab a drink, which is good, you know. Always drink someone else's drinks rather than your own if you can. Right, now I'm hoping this doesn't just go up to the gate here and stop. Maybe there's another permitted access through the middle of the site again. It's all a bit weird today, frankly. And then suddenly we're here, which is Botley Marshes, apparently. A minimal concession to nature. I suspect the ground's too swampy to do anything meaningful with it. Still, that's good. I'll take it. Nice change. Really great smokestack thing there. Don't know if it's operational or what. Don't know a lot about these places. Clouding over now as well. Probably in for some rain and maybe even thunder later. So that'd be fun. I've got my waterproofs. I mean, you've got some workses there. I can just hear in the distance, but a surprising amount of green farmland and pasture and stuff. Pylons. I haven't seen the river in a while. I guess it's the other side of that hill. Still on the right. Oh, I think this must be some sort of nature reserve then. You know, to be honest, wild camping for any of these 6 days back to Tilbury is always never going to be on the cards, but you could get away with it here in an emergency, I guess. Wouldn't feel particularly comfortable, but a lot of dog walkers I've seen today, cyclists, locals out getting some exercise. So yeah, it's really quite surprisingly frequented, even though I'm not seeing much at the moment. Oh, I'm just surprised there's still this here. Still, we are about 30 miles away from the centre of London, so still, you know, 17 miles today. I think it's 12 or so between Erith and Greenwich, and then about another 8 between Greenwich and Houses of Parliament. So it's all more or less riverside. So yeah, they'll all be wall-to-wall 6-storey Georgian townhouses. surprising. Maybe that was just Gravesend. Ebbsfleet. Yeah, so we've got the QE2 bridge there. Oh, hang on, let me try a disastrous zoom again. Okay, so if I keep it on the bottom of the frame, it actually ends in the centre. Because I have a what you see is what you don't get camera. I don't know. Anyway, at normal zooms it's fine. But yes, that was my original plan to cross the Thames. So it might still be the England coast path goes over that, I don't know, we'll see when we get there. I think I'm going to have to pass underneath it on the left hand side somehow. And yeah, marks about the halfway point for today. It's good, making time. It's about midday-ish now. Yes, good. I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, something about weather. Yeah, it's trying to spit and spot with the rain, but it's not made a real go of it yet, so we'll see. I have to lose the hat. It's a sun hat, not a rain hat. Not sure where I am now. About 850 years into the future, I think. And there's something here once. Big concrete space grown over. I'll have to check the map. I guess that's what they're for. Still see the big bridge. Now, I was approaching that from the south, and the road I was on, if I'd have stayed on it before I turned off to go park the car, I would have gone over it. But then I looked and I saw only southbound traffic on it. I'm not going to zoom again because my zoom's terrible, but those little white flecks of lorries seem to only be going north to south. Is that the case? Is that what the bridge does, or is there some weird roadwork contraflow thing going on? Maybe the tunnel is for north and the bridge is for south? Who knows? There's a tunnel there that goes along the same broad area. More stuff to look up. Yeah, not sure about these clouds. I mean, they've got that look of could do, might not, might not, you know. And I keep getting little specks of moisture in my face, which is probably not my own spittle. I mean, I've got all the gear, I just when to decide to get it out, that's the thing. So we can get to that riverside tower block housing development type of arrangement before it really lets go. Looks like we've got a bit more town coming up. I don't know what that one is. Is that Green Hive? Let's say a Blue Water shopping centre's somewhere around there, but not really my thing. Not really retail therapy. Retail therapy doesn't really do it for me. It's more, well, doing what I'm doing now really. It's therapy. Hello, acorn on a stick. What have you got? Oh, up top, okay. If you say so. Better view from up here. More wind though. Yeah, walking. Ooh, wind. Oh yeah, it's definitely start of some sleet, sort of drizzly type of thing there. I have to start rearranging my attire. Should leave you with this fine view of a derelict, whatever this was. Stopped again now. Have to go and get my hat back on. Well, I mean, it's sort of technically beachfront property. Not sure about the views though. Panoramic, certainly. Not sure about scenic. Right, that way next. They're looking at beyond the bridge there. Is it sort of hill in the distance? I don't dare zoom anymore. Ah, looks like we've got an actual promenade of some sort over there. Might have to have a little sit down for a bit. Splendid. Probably okay for ice cream at this point. Another one. I've seen 3 of these today. That's the first one I could actually get to. I'll pick that up and chuck that in the bin in a minute. I've seen loads, yeah. They must get blown along the river and washed up on the southern shore. like beached whales or something. Oh well. Anyway, they've had a go here. This is quite nice. I mean, it's sort of fraying a bit, but almost something like the south coast. These are obviously the posh ones. How are we doing anyway? So it's 12:30. Don't want to sit down because I get all stiff, but I'll just stand for a little bit. Admire the view, such that it is. that's a different kind of view. What I've learned in my travels so far is that all of the coast is beautiful, except the China Clay Works at Par, yeah, and the paper refinery mill at Kemsley. Apart from that, it's all beautiful. Yeah, there's no sign of any spitting rain now. That passed. I don't know if I want to get the hat out again though. I mean, someone's already shouted Indiana Jones at me once today, so well, I was flattered at the comparison. You know, I mean, Indiana Jones is cool. He's getting on a bit, but cool. Set that business with the fridge and the crystal skull. We don't talk about that. Right, so just kind of stuffed myself last night food-wise, so I'm not really that hungry at the moment, but I'll probably want to grab some small lunch if I see something. Garage or pub or something, bag of crisps and a lemonade as is tradition. Yeah, impressive structure. So I will get better shots of it as we get nearer, although I suspect this might be the best side-on shot we'll get of it today. Opened in dedicated to Queen Elizabeth II, who was very much alive for much of its span. And yeah, we're off and beyond. There's a hill on the far side. I don't even know what that is. Didn't think there were any. It wasn't any geography around here, just cities. Still, there we go. I'll stop looking like a tourist and move on now. I suppose this is more of an accurate vision of the future, to be honest. It'll all become this eventually. I just hope people can afford them, that's all. Not the rotten wooden boat, the houses. Pub there. Bicycle in the in the river there. Can't park that there, mate. Yeah. Yeah, we're along here. I suppose it's nicer than a shattered, ruined cement works yard, I suppose, but overgrown and such. Neat, tidy. A little bit soulless. If people keep having children, they're all going to have to live somewhere. And you could do worse. You know, it's not like the wine dark Tyrrhenian seas, little white cottages on stony Greek islands, but still better than a view of another house. Right, so that all looks a bit go away, you're not allowed on the shore up there, warehouses and such. So I suspect we're looking at substantial inland detouring at some point soon. Probably to beyond the bridge, I don't know what's all that underneath. Well, we'll see. If you keep walking, you find out. Maybe this is the bit where I get murdered. That's an Asda. Alright, signs say this way. The signs wouldn't want me dead, surely. Turns out we've got this quite well-maintained shore margin that I've been following for the last mile or so. Just got underneath there. You know, all in all, the Thames path so far has been very good. Only a few minor access quibbles here and there, diversions and stuff. The signage has been really good. Big blue discs on lampposts. Very easy to follow. Yeah. Let's see how far we can ride that train. So far so good though. Coming up on the bridge. You know, I'm kind of, in retrospect, glad I'm doing what I'm doing, because it does look like quite a, I don't know, a sort of boring and yet scary, grim trudge to walk across there. I don't even know if it has a footpath. I think it does. Did check with Street View and stuff. There's like a underslung side footpath thing, I think, on the far side maybe. But yeah, it's at least a mile long itself, and very noisy by the looks of it. Quite windy too. It's quite difficult for things to be boring and scary at the same time, but you know, some things manage. Now I'm carrying on under and away. That's good. More industrial whatever. Some sort of jetty, I think. Big liquid natural gas tanker there. I could go and look up the, well, it's called the Atlantic Narval. I can see from here, even without zooming. My poor eyesight, but Yeah, and I could tell you its speed, which is 0, you know. I'll probably tell you where it's been from or where going to, but I can't be bothered to look it all up now. I've gotten bored of the whole marine traffic thing. I mean, it's a fantastic resource, but I generally don't need to know where boats are going a lot. Sometimes just imagining is enough. Sort of as the distribution centre there. This is very much, I mean, well, that there is the M25, more or less, that and the tunnel, which goes underneath somewhere out there as well. This is the Dartford crossing, yeah. Queen Elizabeth Bridge, A something or other. I mean, I don't think that's technically the M25, that span, but the M25 connects at both ends and carries on round the far side of London, forming Greater London, yeah. Got lots of fuss about the ULEZ, ultra low emissions zone. I think at the end of this month, I was a bit nervous about driving to Erith and parking there, which is technically inside the new ULEZ, which comes into effect at the end of August. I think it got through its High Court challenges or whatever. And it's interesting because now we're starting to see environmental pledges starting to run up against voter apathy and actual politics. So there was 3 by-elections recently, and Labour won 2 of them that were previously Tories, and they were tipped to win the 3rd one, which is incidentally Boris Johnson's old constituency in West London. And the Tories held on to it. They only held on to it by about 400 votes. But the Tories are doing so badly in the polls that everyone is assuming that that's all down to the fact that the ultra low emissions zone is going to be extended into that area. And that's an initiative by Labour Mayor, so, you know, politics. But it did sort of put a tin hat on my growing sense that we are doomed as a species, ecologically speaking. As, you know, it's all very well to have pledges and targets and things, but as soon as they actually hit, oh, well, I'm not going to vote for you if you restrict my ability to drive a diesel car around my mansion or whatever, then they don't get the vote. And then that vote goes to the people who are going to pedal back on environmental stuff. Ecology, no. Environmental, yeah. Economy, it's all the same thing, really. Complicated. Doubt I'm going to provide any insightful analysis here, but yeah. At the end of the day, people are environmental up to the point it starts to inconvenience them personally, and then they're not. And then most people, enough people, large numbers of people all think that way, then yeah, fine. To hell with it. Let the planet burn. I mean, I've been driving to London. I've been driving 2 hours each way in the car to come to these little day trip legs. That's not very environmental. I'm planning on using the train for the remainder of this there and back again Thames stuff. Just today it was awkward because, well, it's a 17-mile stage, so the timings are all complicated for being able to find actual connecting trains. And there was a train strike yesterday as well, so, you know, trade unions don't make it easy for us to get off the roads, let's put it that way. Right, anyway, enough. No one watches this to hear my politics. Look at that big monumental piece of engineering instead. Very impressive. I'll have to go and look up some facts and figures and stuff before I next talk to the camera. Anyway, still on the path. It's good. To be honest, if it carries on like this for much of where I'm going, there's a big marshy bit up ahead I think I've got to deal with. Is that the hill? It might be that hill. And then there's the River Darren, where I do have to go about 3 miles inland and then back again to... Probably the last big river I've got to cross that doesn't have a bridge. I mean, technically I could have crossed there, but yeah. I don't know, yeah, it looks like I'm just going to go straight underneath it. So the England coast path can't possibly go up and on top of it unless I have to climb that ladder on that pillar. Seems mad. No, I don't think the England coast path crosses there at all, because it's just... Actually, I'd have to go really far in that way to find the end of it, and then just get up on top and walk along it. I don't even know if you can. Probably you can, but I don't think many people do. I might be a bit muffled actually. I've just realised my coat's flapped across the microphone, so who knows what I was talking about back there. I'm going to shut up for a bit. Oh, gimbal lock. Hang on. Yeah. I got nothing for scale. Just thought it looked arty. Unusual angle and all that. Right, yeah, there's no way I'm getting up on there. I mean, there's a little elevator there. That silver box is actually the bottom part of that elevator, but I think that might be for works access only. I'll carry on this way then. So I don't know where the next bridge is. Quite far down. Might be, it's not Tower Bridge, is it? Maybe. I don't remember any other bigger bridges. Anyway, I'm now inside the M25. It's not bad from Minehead. Heading towards Minehead as well, technically. It's that way somewhere. Yeah, but I think I'm still in Kent. I think the Darrent, I think that might be the boundary of Greater London, but I don't know what the boroughs of Greater London are. I have trouble with counties that are more than 2 adjacent away from the one I live in, so I have to look it up, like so much else. Blimey, look at those tower block residential type area in the marsh with the smokestack. Yeah, making time. What is the time? 1:10 Doing well. Predicting a 6:30 finish, kinda. Quite a long day today, but I need to be able to do 17 miles. I mean, I'm desperately trying to make sure the remaining... Oh, do I risk it? Seems risky. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure the remaining day stages for basically the entire rest of everything I do on this trip is no more than 15, ideally, because I know I can comfortably do 15. And usually there's a couple of extra miles getting to and from the campsite or finding a shop at lunchtime and stuff, so I need to keep a little bit in reserve as well. But 17 without a big backpack on easy terrain should be doable. I haven't had a repeat of my knee so far, so that's good. I'm not sure what that was all about. Actually, that was mad that day on Sheppey and back. That broke my record for longest ever walk in a day. That did 24 miles. Previous record was my very first video on the YouTube there with me doing the canal thing. Canal towpaths being, by definition very flat. So yeah, let's not do that again. Right, where do we go now? Do we continue this nice shoreline access, or do we now go into a big industrial estate? Some sort of Amazon fulfillment thing. It's got jolly colours, looks like it's made out of Lego. It's probably hell inside. The least fun place you could find yourself. Blimey. What is it with Kent and the motocross bikes on Sunday in the shadow of big bridges? Oh. Yeah, let's pull some more information. Littlebrook Power Station. Yeah. Yeah, I've just been passed by 5 of them. They were going backwards and forwards along a concrete strip over there. I got out of the way. I don't mind, They don't actually run me over, that's fine. Everyone enjoying the path in their own way. You start to miss the South West Coast path where even mountain bikes weren't allowed there. There you go. See the fresh tyre tracks. Noisy, like massive metal wasps coming up behind you, with people riding them. Sort of wasp cavalry, if you like, which would be cool, actually. Anyway, carrying on trudging. This has all just been the Amazon depot. Whatever power station that used to once be. Giant Lego buildings. Bright satanic mills, I suppose. Oh, I feel pretensions coming on. I probably ought to walk it off a bit. So it's about 1:30. Water treatment plant. Lovely. Do you like a water treatment plant? That's where our fresh water comes from, probably. But yeah, not much to report really. Coming up on Dartford, I suppose, or is that the other end? Dartford Crossing. I left Dartford's this side. It is, because the train station stopped there, didn't it? Yeah. Yes, it was Erith, something, Dartford, Greenhithe. Oh, I've lost track. Doesn't matter. As I keep saying, just keep walking and I'll find out. Hello. motorbikes are doing laps around the place. I have to keep getting off the path. Can't remember that phone number from that sign I photoed over in Sheppey. Oh, I don't mind, whatever. Just don't hit me, I don't care. Plus I can hear actual gunfire from over there now, so, you know. I always heard strange things about south of the river, but I'm not sure that's here really. I thought that's a bit further west than where I am, and much further south of the river, not just literally on the south shoreline. I mean, that much gunfire continuing for that length of time must be like authorised or something. Surely someone would have come to investigate by now. Oh, I saw a burnt out motorbike over in the scrub just over there. Didn't really want to take pictures of it. But I'll just keep my head down and keep walking. I'm going to try and find out where I am, because yeah, I'm starting to wonder. This is more waste wilderness nature preserve type, ex-army barracks, factory, whatever. Dulcet tones of 850cc off-road motorbikes buzzing up and down. Actually 850 is probably a bit much. I imagine they're probably not more than about 100, 125. Probably not road legal, that's why they have to come here and do it. So just burning up and down the motorway, you know. Oh, right, good. Try and work out where that gunfire is and see if I can steer my way around it. It's a good afternoon. Might even take my coat off in a minute. That rain seems to have gone away. Seems to be a bit brighter now. Yeah. Run towards it. Yeah, another peaceful day in the English countryside. Which all leaves me with the question, who does run Barter Town? I always thought the Civil War would start while I was out here one day, you know, I'd come back and it'd all be different. Now I think that's probably a shooting club of some sort. That much sustained gunfire, that long and that close to, that echoey and close to build housing estates and things, surely would have attracted notice otherwise. Don't know that it's LOD, it might be a rifle club. Which, you know, gun clubs, they're quite rare and few and far between in this country, but they do exist. Enthusiasts. Guess they got all the permits and wardens and safety goggles and whatnot. Don't know. Frankly, not my problem. Right, I'm heading this way. So that hill I've worked out is actually on the other side. That's like a massive landfill that's been sort of piled up over the decades or whatever. Don't think it's natural. On the bend of the Thames cuts left before that hill. But then up ahead we also got the Darent soon, so that'll be a big inlander, probably back to that hill there and then back out again, I suspect. And then Erith is not that far the other side, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I wouldn't want to hazard any mileages or times. Don't know what the inland detour and terrain are like. What can you see? Arm held up high? Anything? Probably not. Bloody hell. Yeah, let's keep moving. It's like they're bringing out the wide bore. Still here. That way next. And unfortunately, that is not a bridge. And it looks like one. Tidal flood barrier for the River Darent Creek thing, which is this. And see where those people are walking along that path there. That's where I'd like to be right now. And my car's about a mile beyond that, probably. Unfortunately, the River Darent goes quite far back up. It's about 2 or 3 miles inland before you can cross it. It's pretty much until it turns into a little creek with a road going over it. So yeah, unfortunate. Never to get that lightweight inflatable paddleboard. Oh well, let's get on with it. Quite sturdy, isn't it? Look at that thing. It's built for Ragnarok, that is. I think the idea is that boats of a certain size can still navigate under it. It's low tide at the moment, but that river can be a bit higher, I guess. And sailing vessels and such with lowered masts or whatever can get under there and upstream. We'll see what there is to see upstream, because we're going to have to do all of it. But yeah, that is not a bridge. There's quite a few like that on the north side as well, my research has shown as well, that could otherwise have saved me a great deal of additional mileage. Still, there we go, them's the brakes. That's the path I've chosen. Oh, press pause for more information. The Dartford Creek Barrier. Oh, here we go, some numbers and things. Built in 1981, part of the Thames Barrier system. Oh yeah, we'll see the proper Thames Barrier as well. I think probably not today, maybe Tuesday. Yeah. Overall flood defence system for Greater London. Yeah, floodplains. Oh, here we go. Patchy areas showing what would happen if there wasn't a flood barrier when they need one. And there's the tunnel. See, I didn't imagine it. Dartford, yeah. So, I mean, this is the existing creek right in the middle, between the black lines, and it would just all this would be gone in a rogue high tide, and there's a cross section, big counterweight system inside the concrete housings. Splendid. Oh, they can even do it during a power failure just by adding and removing water in counterweights. Clever. Barrier withstand up to 7 metres of water above mean sea level. 160 tonnes the gates weigh. Oh, there we go. Interesting, but also somewhat infuriating, because if I could just walk across that, I'd be home in I'd be back to the car in about an hour. Oh well, let's crack on with the rest of the day. Yeah, they really don't want you in there, do they? Just to reiterate, this is not a bridge. Right, I guess I'm going over there. Following the... Oh, I hate rivers at low tide. It's just slick and mud. Not very picturesque. High tide rivers, much more scenic. Oh well, timed that wrong as well then. On we go. Yeah, some quite determined fly tipping there. Farewell images from Kent. Oh, I don't know, I'm sure it's just as bad everywhere else. Quite a long way from the nearest road though. That's taken some work. So yes, I'm trying to get my wiggle on, because I've just checked the weather. Big old party on the far bank there. And yeah, both the Met Office and the BBC give me a 99% chance of being heavily rained on in Erith at 6 o'clock. So not going to avoid that really, considering I think 6:30 would have been an optimistic arrival time. So yeah, I mean, basically I am going to get rained on at some point in the next couple of hours. I reckon I've got about 7 miles to go, including the there and back again with this ridiculous river. So yeah, so it's a question of not if but when. And so I don't like to put all my rain clobber on, because it slows me down. It does make me get hot, and that sort of takes its toll a bit on my endurance. So I need to time it right before I spacesuit up. And then yeah, some quite uninspired trudging to do later on, I suspect. It's okay, can't always be sunny. Although it often is. It's often more sunny than I deserve, I think, statistically speaking, when I come out on these trips. So I can't complain at all, no. Occasional time it does decide to rain on me. Fair enough. So yeah, I'm seeing a sort of dual carriageway on a bridge down there, because I've got a zoom phobia now, but you can take my word for it. See the car zooming across. I think that might be my way across this river. I think it's probably the nearest thing. But then there's like a sort of side fork on that side as well that'll need to be gotten around as well. It's not just straight there and back along a single line. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep following the blue circles, the blue arrows with the acorns on. That's the game. Let's see where we end up when it starts raining. Quite pleasant at the moment though. I haven't even got my coat on. Kind of a fairly warmish wind, it's about 19-20 degrees, and that wind's coming from the south, you know, the place where they're having all sorts of 45+ degree heat waves in the Mediterranean. And we get overcast and rain, so no global warming. I don't know, it's all made up. I kid, of course it's more complicated than that. Yeah, and I probably could have gotten away with wild camping this bit. We're getting away with far more than that around here, I think. Yeah, big old floodplain. Must get quite high, I don't know. Low tide at the moment, so difficult to judge the extent. Keep moving. Alright, okay, so that is a bridge. I don't know if it has a footpath, but it's fine, we'll just shuffle along it best we can. And then I think there's another creek over there, seems to be further over to that white building, maybe? I don't know. The rain's starting to spit, I don't know, it seems a bit more determined now. Oh, unless we go under. Oh, we go under. Alright, got my galoshes on. First stage preparation. There we go under, okay. Yep, it was across that bridge. I nearly got lost. Yeah, standard. So I don't know, I haven't seen any signs, but I think we're not in Kent anymore. So this is Greater London junk. Ooh, scooter. Yeah, that rain is starting to pick up a little now, and look, there's motorbike people, and I've got to walk right past them, so take my life in my hands again. Hood up, head down, trudge on. Ooh, that's almost kind of sort of clear a bit. It's one of the side tributaries of the oh, I've forgotten the name now. Derwent, maybe. Derwent, that's the lake in the Lake District. Anyway, yeah, cut under the railway bridge. Following along here, I don't know where we go on the other side because there's no path at all, so I expect there'll be signs though. Oh, starting to flag a bit. That's alright, I reckon I've got about 4 miles to go, perhaps. So that's okay. Down in 2 hours one way or another. And it's 3 o'clock. Yeah, I must have made better time than I thought. I was expecting 6:30. Oh well, whatever. See what happens when we get there. Must have really got a trudge on. So I've now left motorbike bandit country, so that's good. Just meandering along a bunch of, well, there was, frankly, there's a council refuse site that had a fantastic aroma. And I was scared off a ridiculously large number of starlings in one go. But yeah, too slow to get the camera out. That's how I roll. Oh, here comes that rain. It's trying to settle into a steady drizzle now. Better pop the camera away then. Speak to you again soon. Ooh, good abandoned ruin there. Love it. Yeah, this is the weather for this kind of thing. Trudging along a Thames estuary creek. Why wouldn't it be raining? It's gone a bit misty in the distance. I've got to get back to that in the middle there, that tower's. That's the Flood Creek barrier defence thing. Basically my path goes all the way back up to there again and turns left. So we're doing, it's yeah, 20 to 4 and taking advantage of this extremely well developed elderberry bush to get a moment's respite from the steady but relentless drizzle. It's quite light and it's not cold with it or anything, it's not windy particularly, but yeah, this looks like it's settling in for a proper go, and we'll probably get heavier before it gets lighter. And I haven't got a towel in my car again, damn it. I must remember. I always forget something on these trips. It's the towel this time. Got clean dry socks in the car, so, and an alternative footwear. These are not as waterproof as I'd hoped. The shoes, I'll have to treat them or something, give them a bit of a waxing. Look up what you're supposed to do with whatever type fabric they're made of. But yeah, cracking on, yomping along despite the rain. I mean, you know, the heat's going to slow me down a little, but that's okay. I mean, there's no particular deadline for today. Not like I'm going to beat the rain. I just need to get back to the car. Yeah, still about 4 miles away, I reckon. About 2 hours worth or so. I think I will get there quite a bit before 6:30 though. That's what I was expecting. So I don't know where they pulled that number from. Must just be making better time. Oh, I can't stand under here all day. It's going to drip through eventually. But yeah, sort of dismal fen ambience. It's good. Quite like it. I mean, I like it because, yeah, although I'm going to have to get into a car wet, but actually, no, this lot's doing a reasonable job. I've got the full spacesuit on today. But yeah, I got a warm car with a heater that'll dry me off, and I got a nice warm flat with a warm bedroom to go to when I get home. So I don't have to spend the night in a tent and then walking the same wet clothes tomorrow. So that's the key. That's why I'm not too worried or too upset or fretting much. Just enjoying the ambience. Yeah. So yeah, back up to the barrier defence thing, and we'll see what's what. Get around the corner and back on the Thames itself again. Jolly good. Let's forge on out there. So we made it back to the big blockhouse, Dartford Creek barrier. So that way and then left, and home straight back to Erith. About 2 miles or so. Can't talk long, raining on phone. Hey look, it's another one of these. Can't really see the contrast in the light. So, National Cycle Route marker. This is the National Cycle Route number 1. The things on the side say Erith 1 3/4 miles, 24 miles to London. I suppose that means Trafalgar Square or some such. Dartford 4, yeah, been there, passed it, through it, whatever. Rochester 25, which was where the big castle was, and the big railway bridge, and that pub where I had the crisps. And there's some stuff which I can't really make out. Something about hard and dry. Right, and here we are in a rugged industrial landscape of recycling companies with vast piles of crap in their yards, which is fine, you know. I say crap figuratively, I don't think they actually have human effluent. I think it's like large piles of rubble and bits of metal and stuff. It's all got to live somewhere, I suppose. Not sure why the Thames there. I mean, once upon a time it would have been so you had access to the river, but I don't imagine any of these people use boats for their stuff. It's just what the spare ground we've got, I suppose. Oh, and there's the London Alps. I don't know, I'm going to have to do some research about this massive hill that seems to have inexplicably dominated my horizon. This is like estuarine lowlands, you know. What's that bloody great mountain doing there? I think it looks man-made to me. I'll have to go and do some research or something, but not today. Just going to coast on into Erith and then go home. And despite the weather, my spirits are high. I'm doing well. This will be a 17-miler that I've not really had any trouble with. And some of it in the rain as well. And it's all going all right. Oh, here we go. Something of a view ahead. Why are all those fingerboards pointing into the river? Is this a ford? Is there a bridge I didn't know about? Or someone's just been playing silly buggers with the fingerboards again. Yeah, that should all be, I don't know. London Loop. Yeah, I'm on about 8 different paths at the moment. I mean, yeah, there's the good old ECP, my old friend. But we're on the Thames path, we're on the London Loop. I think we were on the Cray Way, briefly. That might not be the case since we left the tidal estuary, but since the flood barrier. Yeah, and of course National Cycle Route number 1, which runs from Dover to Inverness, which is, you know, makes me start to think, oh, maybe I should get a bike. So yeah, Slade Green Station, yeah, we passed a turn for that. That's not me. I want the next one. So yeah, basically just follow around. I think that is Erith, straight ahead, with all their flats and things. Looks about a mile away. And I can just arbitrarily pick a point there to call my end, and then go find the station. Might miss the heaviest, the rain actually, that'd be good. Don't know what all that is on the far side. I'll have to check. Yeah, don't worry about it because we're going to be here again in 2 days' time. Got the week off work, so I'm going to try and get some extra bonus stages in. So, and we'll be cracking on from Erith to Greenwich next, I think, past Canary Wharf and the Millennium Dome and things. Be interesting. A bit less industrial, I hope. Anyway, I'm going to carry on, wipe the phone dry, and crack on. Meteorology, the destroyer of all hope. They were pretty much right, apart from the time. It's about an hour earlier than it was expected. That was some very heavy rain there. You can just see it, darkness looming away off across the North Sea there. Still spitting a bit. Had trouble with visibility at one point. Got down to about 10 metres. Right, well I think that's Erith here, and if it's not, I'm going to declare it where I was aiming for anyway, because I want to just get in the car and get these wet outer clothes off. So I think this is probably it. Yeah, okay, let's get to the end of there. Just seen a Morrison's, that might be useful if it's still open. Let's grab some snacks before I try and brave a Sunday afternoon, evening M25 after it's just been raining heavily. I might not be home very quickly. Right, okay, good. Let's get to the end and then have a think. Well, I don't know what I did wrong then, because it's only just 10 to 5 now, and I was expecting to be at 6:30. Still, there we go, 17 miles from Gravesend. This is Erith, Riverside Gardens. It's all very nice, I expect. The other side of the wall, I saw it coming over. And here's another little jetty. That is a pier, that is Erith Pier, just a bit a bit less like Blackpool Pier than you'd imagine, or Brighton Pier. Oh, there we go. Grim smokestacks and a grey sky as London beckons. Oh dear. It's the second one I've seen in the river today. Can't park that there. Oh, there's a third one there. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. This is Bexley now. We're not in Kent. We're in Greater London, the borough of Bexley. Maybe they don't do motorbikes. They do throwing bikes in rivers. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go and find my car and get these wet outer clothes off and then slog it through the M25 again, hopefully for the last time, because the remaining stages of this bonus week are all going to be done by train. Well, I'm going to try to anyway, so that should be a laugh. So yeah, my next one of these will be, well, for me, in 2 days' time. On Tuesday I shall come back here by train. I'm going to have to come here early during morning rush hour, on peak as it were, so that's going to be expensive, but no price is too much for my passion. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'm going to sign off because it's still raining, and see you later in the week.